Okay then divers, we're back inside of Helldivers 2 and we have got support incoming with a brand new patch that's just been issued today, as well as a message to the community from our games director that is we'll get into it. You can make your own decision. I think it's going to be an interesting video to say the least, but we're going to move on into it today. If you haven't already, smash that beautiful blue thumbs up and subscribe with post notifications turned on. It'd be greatly appreciated. And on top of that, check out our sponsor GamerSupps, the company that specializes in energy and nutrition products for gamers. Their products are sugar-free, low-calorie, and keto-friendly, come in a variety of flavors, and if you use code CloudPlayers at checkout, you'll get yourself a cheeky discount. It's an absolute no-brainer. So make sure you head down to the description, click the link, and get involved. Nonetheless, let's see what's going on inside of Helldivers 2, because I think that you guys are definitely going to have an opinion on this one. I don't really know which way it's going to sway. Starting off, we've got support incoming with a new patch for all players to address crashes, social menus, and more problems. So this is going to be an interesting feature. We've not got a massive patch for today with 1.001.003 with a new hotfix for performance, crash fixes, general weapon and stratagem fixes, social menus, and miscellaneous fixes all in total. Starting off with the crash fixes though, they fixed the crash that would occur when you or another player selects a new weapon while on the ship. They also fixed the crash that happened when booting the game after saved monitor was disconnected. As far as the general weapons and stratagem fixes though, this is going to be an interesting one, but thermite grenades no longer make the orbital cannon objective incompletable, and mines can now be shot and blown up while near a dangerous object. They've also fixed a bug where the flamethrower weapon bounces off energy shields, making them useless when firing within shield generator relay domes. We're not going to get into that factor because realistically, shield relay dome or no shield relay dome, this thing is obviously taken a whack anyway. So the fact that they've made any change on the flamethrower is kind of a little bit of a salt to the wound, if you will. And let me know your opinions on those ones so far. As far as the social menu fixes, they've got even more social menu fixes. It doesn't really state too much there. I'd have quite liked a bit more detail with regards to that, mainly because the social features have been an absolute nightmare since launch, and they got a little bit better with the last update. We were actually able to add people, but you had to restart the game numerous times for it to happen. So hopefully there's a bit more of a fix on that, and if they do end up fixing a bit more with the social menus, I'd like a bit more detail for myself personally. Inside of the miscellaneous fixes though, they fixed a general performance improvement movement where some pertaining to fighting large swarms of bots, and also fixed a bug where the evacuate high value assets missions stop working, then the hosts leave. That's an interesting one, but again, nothing that you guys are really going to have too many issues with. And then they fixed the infinity loading thumbnails on low texture quality settings. So overall, nothing too big, just a little bit of maintenance that a lot of you guys probably won't even see the difference on, which is a little bit frustrating, but nonetheless, it's just one of those that we kind of have to deal with. As far as the next mega patch, we're probably looking for at least the next month, but we're probably looking for a little bit longer for anything to happen in the time period that we kind of want it to. As Arrowhead Game Studios actually posted up a tweet stating this right here: we have a message to the community from our game director regarding the escalation of freedom update. Now, this is an interesting one to behold because this is coming from Mikhail E, the game director and Arrowhead Game Studios, and this is a very interesting feature. But it states right here: the message to the community from our game director. Fellow Helldivers, I want to directly address the feedback you've raised about the escalation of freedom update. We've spent the last week listening to feedback reflecting about the path ahead for Helldivers 2 and how we want to continue developing the game. In short, we didn't hit our target within the latest update. Some things we just didn't get right, and other more fundamental inconsistencies in our approach to game balance and game direction. All of that is on us, and we're going to own that. As many of you have pointed out, and we agree, what matters most now is action, not talk. To that end, here's what we intend to do in the upcoming updates, and our aim is to get this done within 60 days. Now, this is it's an interesting one because we've heard this one before. For those of you guys who have been in the Helldivers 2 scene for a while, you'll know that Johan actually made this feature and stated something pretty similar to this, of which the comments are actually kind of interesting on this post. I'll leave the link in the description. You guys can dive into it, but it's not the first time we've heard all of this jargon. But anywho, the changes that they want to put through is this right here. They want to continue to re-examine our approach to balance. Our intention is to balance that should be fun, not balanced for the sake of balance. Update how the fire damage mechanic works to tweak how the flamethrower serves as a close range support weapon. A quick straight revert won't work as it would break other things. Rework gameplay to prevent excessive ragdolling. Rethink our design approach to primary weapons and create a plan of making combat more engaging. Reprioritize bug fixes so that more immediate gameplay impacting bugs are prioritized, and improve game performance. Frame rate is a focus, as well as the rework on charges. This is really interesting. So there's some big key features here. Obviously, they need to re-examine the factor of how they balance weapons, which, from what I gather, they've been approaching that and re-examining it quite a few times now, as their movement for balance isn't actually all that good. Another one that you will have noticed, a really big one, is the rework on charges. Now, there is a lot that people want to see on this one. There are lots that people want to see on this one. We don't want to see ice skating charges anymore. Their turning circle is ridiculous, and when they do charge, it doesn't matter if they've hit you. They won't just kind of like go through and pound you to the side. They will just continuously and repeatedly bash you into next week until they eventually kill you up against a wall. There's probably about 4 damage inputs on one charge, which, as much as I know they go for the realistic factors, it's a little bit crazy. But the turning circle is mad tight, and it's mental to know that that beast can turn so quickly that even if you dive past him, he's still going to bloody hit you. I don't really understand it. But let me know your input so far on the changes they want on the short-term scale. They go on to state here, though, that additionally, from a bigger picture perspective, we will be exploring creation of an opt-in beta test environment to improve our testing process, and we consider this a high priority. Post regular player surveys to gather more insight and feedback from the community. Improve our process for patch release notes, providing more context and reasons behind changes, and more blog posts and streams where we expand on these topics for those interested. We also want to thank you for your patience. We're so grateful that so many of you provided constructive feedback as suggested on the latest update. Mikhail E., Game Director and Arrowhead Game Studios. Now, this is a big one. Why is this a big one? Because hopefully we get some more detail around everything that's happening, why it's happening, and actually you'd be surprised how much that does genuinely help. It does genuinely help. When they give a bit more of a reason behind things, it means that people can see things from a different perspective and may be able to reason with it a little bit more, whereas when just things get nerfed into the ground, there's not really a reason for it. It just kind of gets issued and we have to deal with it. Now, that's not really a way to work with your game community. So the way that they're going about this with blog posts, streams to actually go through things in more detail and provide more context and reasons behind it within their patch notes, I'm completely here for. I just think that they really need to nail down the movement for balance and know that right now they can't just revert the way that the flamethrower was, because it's going to break other things because of coding and stuff. I'm not a coder, I'm not a game developer, I can't tell you the details of that. We just have to take his word for it. But what we will see, hopefully, is a little bit more of a experimental breakdown of how everything is going to pan through. So far, this is just one of those. It looks really good. We just need to see how it is that they actually implement all of this. It's really interesting to know that they're obviously having a lot of internal conversations, and rightfully so. The community is peeved at this, and it seems to be something that's really having quite a diverse reaction to the game itself, because I think that people really aren't happy with it. And when that comes along, it obviously causes the decrease in player base. We're at around 30 to 40,000 players right now on Steam alone, and obviously we know that PlayStation obviously partake quite a big partake in it, so you may be talking about 50 to 60, maybe even 70,000 players, which is still a decent number, but overall it's still a little bit worrying that if they don't change things soon, it could cause for quite a bad repercussion. Fingers crossed everything gets changed, but let me know what you guys are thinking via the comment section below. Thank you so much again for watching, guys. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the clouds.